Hey, we're live. Well, I'm live. Not quite sure where Yoda is. Oh, there she is. She's a ghost in the reflection.
Hey, everybody.
How's everybody doing tonight?
Hey, T-Paul.
So we got...
Hey, who's this? Hey, Charles,
We
Jonathan.
got Starla, T-Pa, My Little Crooked Homestead, Charles, Jonathan, Mrs. Hacks, T-Pa again. T-Pa showed up twice. She's that excited to be here. Hope everybody's doing well. Oh, Life Done Freeze here.
She's on vacation. Who?
You.
No.
You.
No.
And Darren's here.
Hey.
All right, guys. Homestead update. Well, it actually felt like we got a lot done this week.
Mm-hmm.
And not that we didn't get a lot done the previous 3 weeks. It just seems like this weekend we devoted a lot of time to stuff that needed to be done, and we got it done.
Yeah. And got to hang out with friends Saturday night. So
got to hang out with friends, yep.
And doing all right there?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
All right.
So what'd you do this week?
What'd you do?
What'd I do? I spent most of the day on Saturday working on the chicken coop, and Sunday working on the chicken coop, and I did general cleanup. I finally started hitting the last of the junk piles there on the property. And actually, all I'm really doing is moving the junk piles from one place to another. But I'm organizing as I'm.
You're organizing, and we're getting it done so we can get the hogs moved in and all that stuff. So
yeah, so I got
get fencing and garden, more garden space in.
Given enough time that the chicken coop's going to be functional in the next week. RN, how you doing? Central Alabama checking in. Other than that, just did a lot of work. I was by myself at work all week long, so when I got home, it was dark and just basically did some stuff inside, hung some blinds so you guys won't be blinded by the sun coming in through the window whenever Yoda's making kitchen videos. So
what is that? Hey, Sandy. Did you get your stuff? Oh, no, you wouldn't get it yet. But yeah, I sent it. I hope you got Garen's message about the address. So
Indiana Mike's here too.
Hey, Indiana Mike. I will be giving your wife a phone call. I got her message, but was busy today and didn't have a chance to get back with her. Actually, that might be her. I think Ahoy is her. So I will get with you. Started this morning with doing 18 quarts of potatoes, and in between, what are you doing?
Fred needs some attention.
Hey, stop. And put in potatoes, put my inside walls together, ready to go up and getting ready for my roof. Nice. That's always excellent.
That's always
so
good milestones.
Yeah, we're going to be. Well, we're going to be doing what? We're going to be looking laundry lists and all of that stuff. Here, get up here. Oh,
this is Fred. This is the sick dog.
She's not sick.
She used to be sick.
She used to be sick all the time. So then let's see. So we'll be getting our wood list together, getting ready to order some concrete. And
we got funding. We got funding for the pantry.
Yeah.
So we're gonna start working on the pantry here in the next week or two. So that's gonna be a game changer.
Yeah, my crooked little homestead. She is cute, and
she's a pain in the butt.
She's very expensive. She gets into things that she doesn't need to be getting into, and she comes from a very excellent border collie working line, but she's afraid of the sheep and the goats. So
terrified.
Go figure.
Terrified.
But I'll get her working. I just need her 100%. So, but yeah, we got her as a puppy, and she. Anyway, long story, but. Yeah, she's a sweetheart, and when I'm not feeling well, she always needs to make sure that she's up on top of me and putting food in my bed.
Yes, she puts food in bed.
But anyway.
So my little Crooked Homestead.
Yeah, Manny is still the man.
My Crooked Homestead put up potatoes. What'd you do this week, cooking wise?
Oh my gosh. So the
Chicken a la King video.
Yeah, no, I did that last week.
Did you?
I think I did that last week, but I got a bunch of other stuff, pork chops, things like that. Got all that stuff put in the freeze dryer. got things pulled out. Let's see, what else did I do? Trying to get the kitchen and everything organized, trying to get all of the freeze-dried food sealed up, maintain to see what stickers, things I need to get like that done. I needed to get everybody's orders for the rooting hormone taken care of and shipped out. And Teapot, yes, I saw your message. I need to get back with you. I'm not sure yet as far as material. We're trying to figure out on the materials to use.
Tell them what you're talking about.
On the hardware itself. So there's Chicago screws that we can use.
What are you going to use it on? You need to start at the beginning of the story.
I think they all know that's in here. So, but we're going to use that on the foraging bags. And so that leather case, we can actually use Chicago screws. And then that way we could change out the bags if they get dirty. We could take the leather off, throw those in the washer, that kind of thing, which would be great. However, by the time we looked at the leather and we looked at the hardware and all of that, which is sourced in the United States, well, everything except for the leather, but good quality leather. And so we looked at that, and it's going to be, I think it was like $1,000 upfront cost just to get all the materials and everything. And then it's going to be another. Okay, now you're getting obnoxious.
Get down.
And then we wouldn't be able to put them together for less than $14. So I'm just not sure where to go with that.
Randy and Grateful Hearts Ranch checked in.
Hey, you guys.
Good to see y'all. Thanks for stopping by.
Yeah.
Just going over what we did this week.
Yeah. So I don't know. So we're not sure where to go with that. Obviously, you can get them cheaper, China made. We know people will pay more for U.S. made, but they can't be a ridiculous price.
They're gonna be the same price no matter what we use. It's just if we go on American made, it's gonna be less profit, is all it is.
Yeah.
Quite frankly, I don't want to spend that much money up front.
Yeah.
No, having 500 units and not knowing if we're going to sell them,
it's a hard
kind of
decision.
scares me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh, nice. A built raised bed with leftover scrap. I love it.
Lucy, take care.
Yeah. Bye, Lucy. Yeah. So that's great. Kentucky Sustainable Living. Hey, everybody. So we just need to figure that out upfront cost, and then maybe see if those will actually sell and what we're going to do. We're looking at different numbers. Yep. And just we could sew them on, but my fear is if we sew them on and not use that hardware, that's a lot of, I don't know. It just seems like that leather would go to waste, and putting that in the washing machine just doesn't make any sense.
Well, you hand wash it.
I know. I know. We'll see.
You know, one of the cool things about doing the cleanup is I'm finally able to start putting together a list of actual permaculture projects that we're going to do. Start tying everything together properly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I looked into some medicinal things for Starla, and her and I actually had.
Not that she's giving medical advice, you two.
No.
We're not doctors.
Yeah, and so, but. I'm a firm believer that your land will grow what you need, what your body needs, and your land gets to know you. And sure enough, she's got some stuff that she can use, and pretty exciting. So,
Aaron, you're absolutely right. Lumber prices are way down.
Yeah.
Tag was telling us this weekend, OSB, whenever we were buying it for the chicken coop when we needed it, was $65 a sheet. Mm-hmm. And what did he say it was down to?
$12, I think.
$14 a sheet. And if you've got the money and you got space to store it, go get it right now if you've got a future use for it. Seriously.
But if you're in our area, let us go get ours first. So
yeah, we'll let you know.
Run out.
We'll let you know.
Yeah. Hey, Nowhere Homesteading. So we were just talking about the hardware for the foraging bags. So we're just trying to figure out what we want to do as far as those upfront costs to keep that made. So I mean, we need to consider taking pre-orders and at that price and see what happens.
Oh, Kentucky Sustainable, you don't know the half of it. We bought. How much money did we spend when we were building that cabin?
$17,000.
We bought like $17,000 worth of lumber.
I think that's right. Tag would know the number.
And by the time we started moving in here, lumber prices had gone up so much that it would have cost us like $52,000. It was crazy. It was crazy how much it went up.
Yeah.
But, you know, and hopefully it'll stay down low enough for long enough that people can get what they need.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't look like new home starts are going to go up anytime soon.
No, and that's exactly what it is. It's because of the new construction. And so what's happening there. So there's a few shortages that are making things a little more affordable right now. So I think all the way down to the concrete. So fingers crossed that holds true. So we just need to get on it.
Yes, we do.
So what did he say? Put some numbers in there.
342.12.
For what?
Oh, the concrete. We were figuring out concrete costs.
Oh, okay. Well, that's not bad.
I may buy a little bit more because I got some smaller projects too.
Well, that makes more sense. We got to get the pad for the generator in too. So,
Okay, Randy Whitaker says the Gulf Coast Homesteaders meetup in Milton, Florida last weekend was a great success. Glad I went. Great to meet everyone.
Good.
Fantastic, Randy.
Yeah.
That is awesome to hear, man. That is like I said, you know what? You're starting a conversation with people. And that's really the hardest part. Well, maybe the second hardest part behind figuring out if they're crazy.
Yeah.
Takes a little bit longer to figure out if they're crazy.
So I had a really fun experience today. I know it's odd, but so I had to find a primary care doctor. And so I knew that there was a place that I didn't want to go because of some of their mandates that they had and over the last year. And so I found a different doctor and I went there. He actually works with a team of 2 APRNs. And so talked with them. They're all like-minded. And so I'm super excited about that. Nice. They did not care that, in fact, they understood that I didn't want certain vaccines. And, you know, you hit that age and they just want to shoot you up with everything. They were so super cool about it. And they were like, we totally understand. No big deal. So did you get the back
yes.
of the house yet? Yes, but it's still not running.
Yes, it's still not running. I'm gonna try one more thing to try to get it running before I come begging for help.
Yeah.
You see that Patty said that she built nesting box for the rabbits.
Oh, nice.
Stepping outside her comfort zone.
Yeah.
That's what we like to see.
Yeah. Oh, and hey, Mrs. Hex. So I've been searching for the right ceiling fan, outdoor ceiling fan, because she is absolutely adamant that it has to be the right one. So if you remember the one that I showed you, I think I'm going to order that. You don't know how much it is, but it's okay. It's for the house and it's all good.
That means it's expensive and I'm gonna drop a brick whenever I see what it costs.
Well, actually, so I've been shopping around and anything that is outdoor, like what you're asking me to get, they're all around the same price. So it's yeah, they're just expensive. It just is what it is.
There's Amy. She's saying hi. She listens to Rescue. Rescue's he's a gentleman out of Texas, and he does a live stream. He used to do it every morning, and he would go for like 7-8 hours just live streaming, and he'd have all kinds of people up there. I've been up on the panel a couple of times, and
Patty, this Texas, it's worth it, G. My ceiling fan.
Whatever. I don't need you two conspiring against me.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, $95K was cheap for a kitchen.
Oh, the kitchen that I was thinking about that today.
It didn't cost us $95.
Well, no, it didn't cost us $95,000 then, but had we built it a year and a half later,
oh man,
would have cost close to it.
Yeah, it would. I wouldn't have built it.
Yeah, we wouldn't have been able to afford the kitchen to the old place. You know,
it still wasn't cheap when we did it.
No, it wasn't cheap, but it was well worth the money spent.
It made us money when we sold the house.
Yes, it did. Yes, it did.
Yeah, it was worth it. So it was a blessing.
So, do you have anything else that you did this week? You're planning to do something.
What?
This weekend. What?
Well, everybody knows that. So
do they?
I guess Saturday I'm going over. We're teaching a butchering class. I do know the number now. We're doing somewhere between 50 and 60 chickens, and then Sunday. So we'll get those broke down, get them ready to go. I'll show everybody how to do that, and then we've got a class of. They have 7. And then I'm bringing 2. So we have a class of 9 canners. So G's going to take the event stove over. I'm going to pull all my extra pressure canners. And then I'll be going over and teaching how to can the chicken on Sunday. Sharing. Well, they're learning. So I don't know what you call that. But anyway, so sharing how to do that. And just what our method is. So should be super easy. And then Saturday night, we're going out to dinner with Indiana Mike's wife.
Yep. No, our home study, it's over at one of our neighbors' place right around the corner.
Yeah.
Chris, he was on the live stream a couple of weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be over at his place. If
you want to join, call me and I'll give you the details on that.
Yep.
You're more than welcome.
Okay.
Yeah, more than welcome. So, and this is what it's about. It's about getting the communities together and building them up. So you definitely want to meet them because they're literally our next door neighbors.
Yep.
So,
and they're good people.
Yeah.
They're good, good salt of the earth type people. Most of them are.
Yeah.
Oh.
And we've got Nikki's coming up too. And so she's going to do both days. And then, it's just going to be super neat. So, and just being able to help each other out.
Yep.
And Chris has been over here and helped us butcher chicken. So,
yes, he did. He came over.
So we're excited about that. But so then Jonathan, according to Joel Salatin's, aluminum roofing is the best to protect against hot summer days.
He's building rabbit. He's building rabbit hut.
We have, I would say, steel on the old house, and it is always cooler back there than it is in here, even during the summer.
Yeah,
so I would agree with that. And we use metal on our chicken coop, and it is cooler. So I would definitely agree with that.
But I used either asphalt, the corrugated asphalt roofing, or we got these plastic sheets that we use.
Hey, Rescue, what's up?
Hey, Rescue.
Hope you got the new recipe for the chicken a la king.
Amy was talking about you. I'm not going to repeat what she said.
Don't start trouble. So.
Starla says, "Oh, she says we're awesome."
Oh,
everybody knows that.
Oh, don't be like that. Thank you, Starla.
Starla went over and helped somebody with some plumbing problem, so she was a little bit late. She wanted us to know. Mm-hmm. And Mrs. Nowhere Homestead's here too. Glad you liked it, Rescue. Yeah. Tiger 454 is here too.
Rescue, can you eat pork? And so if you eat pork, let me know, and I could come up with some stuff for that too.
So that's what we did. That's basically what we did and what we're getting ready to do on the homestead. You know, it does honestly, it doesn't sound like much, but I mean, I honestly feel like we got a lot done.
Yeah.
I honestly do.
Well, and I got certain errands ran that we needed to get. We got stuff for the chicken coop that we needed to get. I know there was other stuff that I did around here, and I've slept since then. And then I had a sinus infection coming on. So, I don't know, something happens and I just get exhausted and I don't know what the heck is going on. So
I did learn a very important carpentry lesson this week, though. I will share this with you guys. When you're cutting in a opening for a 32-inch door, you need to take into account the 2 inches for the door frame, or you end up with a 31-inch door once you put the frame in. So I'm gonna have to custom build a door for the.
Actually, I was thinking about that. Isn't the door that we're replacing at the front portion towards the road, isn't that wood? And I think it's solid. I was thinking you just shave that down.
I could. I'll check it out.
Yeah, save us some money.
I'll check it out. Yeah, but these are the things. These are one of those times when you get done, you're like, hey, I did it. Yeah, really. It honestly, it does look really nice. It's square, and it looks really nice. It's just 1 inch too short. But
that's all right. We'll fix it.
Yeah.
And then, so then the next thing we're going to start working on are the chicken tractors and turkey track. Are we doing turkey tractor?
Well, it's coop and pantry right now.
I thought you said the tractor.
Well, I got to do the chicken tractors but
you need to step it up and start working harder, buddy.
Come out and help me.
I'm gonna. You know what? I'll get Bea over here. She'll put you to work.
There you go. Nowhere Homestead said they had fun putting in French doors. Yes, that's a special thing right there.
Yeah.
You got twice as much to worry about as a regular door.
Right. And then the blinds were kind of a fiasco too, because it was a matter of finding, I don't know. We wasted time on that. We should have just
we put the blind up, and I didn't have a tape measure, and I kind of eyeballed it, and it looked like a 36-inch opening because that's a standard window opening.
Nothing standard.
Nothing is standard in this house. The kitchen windows are actually 35 inches.
Right.
So she had to make an extra trip down to the hardware store to find proper sized.
And somewhere in the house, we have to put in a 36-inch window because I can't take the blinds back because I cut the box in order to send Cindy her order. Yep. So anyway, it's a whole ordeal, but no big deal. And then, man, I got out in the herb garden, kind of looked and saw what I have there. I'm ready to pull in some seeds. I'll probably do that tomorrow. Everything's dry and ready to go. Pull in. And we've got rain coming Thursday evening, Friday, and Saturday. So they say we'll see when we get there. And so I'll get all of that stuff in. So hopefully we'll have more and be able to spread out some more medicine and kitchen herbs throughout the area.
Oh no, our homestead dogs will do that to screen doors. We've had dogs that went through screen doors, that ate screen doors, did all kinds of stuff. Yeah. Something else I learned this week. So we cut down that great big tree, which I still got to get the video out for it. Promise I will get it out someday. Maybe a while, but I'll get it out. Oh, the sliding door, the glass sliding door.
They went through the glass.
Is the dog okay? But anyway, we cut down that great big 150-foot ash tree, and we cut the log up so that I could roll it down into the dry sluice, so I could get to it easier. At 20 feet long, it's so heavy that the skid loader won't move it. Wow. I can't roll it with the skid loader. It's so heavy and it's so awkward. So I'm going to end up having to go up there, cut it apart into rounds, and take them out 3 rounds at a time instead of being able to take the truck down there.
Yeah. And she's what? Long.
Oh, this isn't one of the dogs you've got now.
I
see. Okay.
All right.
I'm tracking now.
Yeah. He said let him know if you need
Sure. Help. Anytime you want to come help do anything, you just let me know.
We'll always take help.
My pride is beyond doing it by myself now. Seriously.
That's a lot of wood.
Those days, well, for anything, those days after the last year we've had are long gone and behind me. And I'm even getting past the problem I've got of feeling like whenever somebody helps me that I owe them, that there's a ledger. Everybody tells me that there's not a ledger, but in my mind, if somebody helps me, I've got to help them back. And so I'm getting past that.
You do anyway.
Well, no, I help people. It's just I don't like feeling like I owe people. Yeah. And I know there's a lot of guys out there that know what I mean.
Yeah, Nikki and Scott said that they would help with the tile and everything too when we get to that point. So that's kind of cool. So, but so then I got tree limbs cut, and then got more of the rooting hormone and that kind of stuff on there. So got that done. Still need to thin out the aloe. It's looking pretty bad.
Now somebody asked a comment on your rooting hormone video that you have not answered yet.
I didn't see it.
Well, they asked if the pawpaws had grown roots. Mm-hmm. They had the nodules for the roots forming,
right?
Which is the
starting of the root.
The starting of the root.
It takes a little while. You're not going to get them overnight.
Well, and she made a comment, and I started reading up on it, and I'd read it before. But pawpaws are very finicky trees, very finicky trees. So they need a little bit of TLC whenever they go in the ground. So anybody that's bought pawpaw, you guys need to take care of it and kind of nurse it along, because they once they take really well.
Yes,
they're very hardy trees. The ones that are living in the goat pen have been through all kinds of grief, and they're still kicking. But
we're actually talking on different subject. Tag was saying something too on maybe us all getting together and taking down. I saw somebody saying something about taking down a building. We'll be taking down. I think it's 2 barns. So.
Maybe.
Yeah, maybe. He's got to organize that and then just let us know. So, but so we said, I volunteered you. I said we would help.
That's fine. And
then, so get all of that stuff done. I got the bacon out, and it is defrosted to do the canning the bacon video. So I will get that done this week. And then
you need to do a canning gravy video.
Oh, yeah. Somebody asked me about that. And yes, you absolutely can can gravy. I've been doing it for years.
Well, and that was the question to me seemed really weird because you've done it multiple times.
Yeah.
And but she wasn't the only one. I had other people that I talked to in person.
Texas 200-year
200-year-old barns. Oh man, I'll tell you what, pulling the nails from that wood is going to be a chore.
We can do it.
What do I know about it? Because
I said we can do it.
Oh,
Why are you getting so confrontational?
Why are you mumbling?
I'm not. You need a hearing aid.
I lost my train of thought.
Mm-hmm. You were talking about the nails were going to be hard to pull.
No, before that.
No, the gravy video.
Oh, the gravy. But there are other people that didn't know you could do that.
Oh, yeah. And that started from the chicken a la king recipe. So, yeah, that can absolutely be canned, no problem. I was just putting it in the freeze dryer. So, maybe I can go through, have the recipe already made and then can it so everybody can see
and that's
it.
what I was thinking. That's what I was thinking because, if you don't have a freeze dryer, there are other ways you can preserve it, the canning and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And a meal like the chicken a la king or the garlic chicken rice, you can that stuff and you have it ready to go. Then all you got to do is
ready-made meals, heat it up and eat it.
Exactly.
That's it.
And
so, I'll probably do something. You're going to get the solar oven out for me.
Yep.
Ovens, get all of them out, and I'll do different recipes all at the same time. And then you have 3 different videos on that.
Do you hear something?
The dishwasher.
Oh, that was the dishwasher.
I do dishes around here in the dishwasher.
Oh my gosh. She does dishes. Oh, shocking. No, I'd never heard it before. I thought I was going nuts.
It's usually silent, but it's pulling something.
Mine's broken most of the time.
What did he say?
He said,
I married one, a nail puller. Oh my goodness. So, anyway, so yeah, I got that stuff done. And then, I spent one day cleaning up after dogs. They got sick. Somebody's getting into something somewhere. And then, that's pretty much my thing, what I've been doing. No, I don't stay in the kitchen. Well, that's not true either.
You spent a lot of time in the kitchen
this
last week.
Actually, the last month.
Yep.
So, but when you do, I think, in fact, it was funny because I actually heard B say it. Remember when I said I was in canning hell and I needed it to stop? She actually said that on their live that she was in canning hell. I just had to laugh.
Oh, and then the big thing we did, the Saturday night, one of our friends had a bonfire and we went over there. We were a little late because we were working. I was working on stuff until the last possible minute, and I had a really good time.
Yeah, it was.
Got to meet some new people, and talk with people we knew. Got to see some people from some other channels.
Grateful Heart said, "Just because you hear the dishwasher doesn't mean you weren't going nuts."
This is true. Hey, Mrs. Ghetto, how you doing?
Hey, Mrs. Ghetto. And it was cute. So the boy actually put on Haunted Trail, and he did a good job with it. It was cute. It was scary. So, but yes, it was a good time.
And they did bobbing for apples, and they did a pumpkin carving for the kids.
Yeah.
And
good old country fun.
Yeah, country
fun. It was good. So
it was funny because one of the boys just was bound and determined that he was going to get the apple, get one of those apples. And the way they did it,
it was chilly and they were soaking wet.
It was cold, and instead of using a wash tub, and filling it full of apples, they used
a mineral bucket.
They used a mineral bucket and put like 4 apples in. They used 2 of them. And they put like 4 apples in it. And I looked at him. I said, "That's nuts, man."
If you guys don't have cattle or anything like that, those mineral buckets, like what would you say those are?
They're about 35 gallons.
Yeah, they're big and deep. So it was kind of funny. But so then I know there's so much other stuff, but so we got that done. And then I need to get the greenhouse cleaned up, get stuff organized in there. Got to get that pull out. So in the summer when it's really hot, I put a pull out and just fill it with a little bit of water so the chickens and turkeys and everybody can walk in there, the dogs if they want to, and they can just kind of lay down in there. And it got thrown in my greenhouse. So I need to get that out, rolled up and put away. And so I've got space to go through there and get all that done. Those grapevines didn't take from the spring, so I got to get those out.
Well, and it was our first year having a greenhouse. And
Mhm.
I didn't realize it would get 140 degrees inside the greenhouse in the middle of summer.
That's why I wanted the 2 windows.
Well,
so maybe I'll get those.
maybe one day, if
Okay.
you're nice to me.
We'll see. We'll see how that goes. Maybe I'll just
That's about
do
it. That's
myself.
about it for the update portion of it.
Mhm.
I wanted to talk about something. So we had a conversation. Okay, now this is going to be political, but it's not left or right, progressive, conservative. It's
Who had the conversation?
we were. I was
Just want to
talking.
know where you're going.
I
with
was
this.
talking with Tag and Brother Hitch,
Okay.
and we were discussing, the upcoming election. And like I said, I'm still new to the area and the state politics and local politics. I'm not really up to speed on it. And we were talking, and the existing county commissioner, if I remember the story correctly, it's somebody that we're voting for on the 8th. The position is open, and it's somebody we're voting for.
Yes, RN.
They held a meeting about some tax increase a year or two ago, and it was a public meeting, so the public can come in and state their opinions about the tax increase. And before the meeting even started, he looked at everybody in the room and told them flat out, doesn't matter what you say, we're raising taxes. This guy's supposed to be on our side, right? Now, I want
And it's not like we're the lowest tax in the state.
Yeah, I want to support guys that are semi like-minded. But man, you say something like that, and I don't care what your position on is everything else, you're a no-go for me. I'm sorry. And so now I'm confronted with a very real situation where I've got nobody that I can vote for, because I looked at the other guy and I can't vote for him either. So I've got a local position that I'm gonna write none of the above in.
We're just gonna all write your name in there.
No, I know whose name we should write, but he'd get mad if we did it.
Oh, tax.
Yeah.
He'd be a lot more politically correct than you would. So
yes,
that would be a good choice.
Yes, most political arguments would not end very well with me involved.
No. Yeah, RN, email me and I'll get back to you and we'll discuss that.
No,
For
Cindy, I should not run. Beyond, I used to say it was because of all the skeletons in my closet, but
skeletons don't matter anymore.
Politics today, man, some of the people getting elected compared to what I've done, man, my stuff is like piker. I mean, it's like nothing compared to what some of these people have done. Right. It's just crazy the way things have gotten, but we want to be involved in local politics. We want to, that's where our community comes in, and that's how we influence things locally. Mm-hmm. But man, whenever the guys that are supposed to be on the right side of things are saying stuff like that, I mean, where do you turn? Seriously.
Yeah.
Where do you turn? And we've got somebody, we actually talked to somebody Saturday night and suggested that he run for the position when it comes open. Is it 2-year or 4-year thing? I think it's a 2-year thing. But we talked to him about it, and he said not this time, but next time he might think about it. And he'd make a good commissioner too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Starla Lucy had to check out early. She had something going on, so maybe she'll come back in later.
Noah Homestead says, I'm done with politics. Our country did the same thing, including trying to schedule property, or our county did the same thing to schedule property tax appeal hearings at odd times no one can make, and then canceling them at the last second.
Yeah, Randy says he agrees with Tag, none of the above.
Yeah, and
problem with that is you don't vote with any of the above. You can't complain because you didn't vote.
Well, this is true.
Mm-hmm.
This is true. In my opinion,
you just pay your taxes, and
you kind of lose your. Well, you know what? That's not true. That's not a true statement anymore. Because in not making a choice, you're making a choice. That's a Rush song, by the way. Okay. If you choose not to decide, you still made a choice. But by not voting for somebody, you are taking a stand, and you still have the right to complain because neither one. And there, it's a two-party system. Let's face it, at local level around here, it's two-party. You got Democrat and Republican. Neither one of them is providing a candidate that's worth voting for. So you have the right to complain.
Or you could run like what Rainey said there. Then you may have to run yourself. And so
point.
if you can do it better, then you run.
No, we're Homestead. Killdozer is not an option. As fun as that would be, that is not a good. Killdozer is not a good option.
Okay, so Rescue, we've had this conversation as well. So
Rescue says if you don't have a good replacement, then it might be less harmful to go with the lesser of two evils and start a proper replacement the next go. It's a hard call. Yes, it's an extremely hard call. And like Tag said, I've said this multiple times. You know, voting for the lesser of two evils is what got us here. Because, and God, this is going to make me sound so hypocritical. Evil's evil. I mean, a little evil is just as bad as a big evil, you know, and maybe it's going to take a very drastic move by the populace to get people to start paying attention, you know, and you nailed it right on the head, Rescue. It's a hard call, and it's an individual call, and everybody that makes that call is going to have to live with it, live with their decision, and take accountability for it, you know, and that's where it starts. That's where it starts, is taking accountability. You know?
Yeah, Mrs. Hacks, the people need to start holding our elected officials accountable. Problem is they don't care. But yeah, a lot of people are asleep still, and the officials, when you go to hold them accountable, just like before a meeting, and that official stands up and says, "I don't care what you say, taxes are getting raised."
Good evening, Prepper Book Club.
How do you hold them accountable?
Well, and you know that brings up a whole nother issue. You know, it's our responsibility. If you've been following Tag and my Principles of Freedom thing, it's our responsibility to elect moral and upright people. Mm-hmm. So who ultimately is accountable for the corrupt politician? It's the people that put them into office. And I know that division is what they want in this country, mm-hmm. but at some point we have to hold our fellow citizens accountable, you know, and the unfortunate fact of the matter is that the progressives in this country have elevated holding Republicans accountable to the point that we're accountable for stuff we don't even do.
Bingo, nowhere homesteading. I actually know this, and I don't know all of the details of it, but I absolutely know for a fact that there were some things happening behind the scenes that they were trying to push a gubernatorial candidate, and he ticked somebody off at a different level, and because he did that, they threw so much money at him and tossed him to the side that the Republican candidate is completely different. It was
for this state,
yes, for the state of Kansas. And so it's absolutely different. And the whole reason is because Schmidt, it can work with both sides instead of putting his foot down and saying you're wrong. So I absolutely know that behind the scenes, there's a lot going on. So then
Jonathan says the country gets the leaders it deserves.
Yeah, Prepper Book Club.
When you have a confluence of corporation and politics, it's almost impossible to have the accountability we need. Mm-hmm. See, and that's why we start voting with our dollars. That's why building these alternative economies mm-hmm. and getting out from underneath the big corporations as much as possible is very important right now. And it's so important that I've been reading some political blogs and some off the beaten path articles about stuff. The government is actually starting to see this, and they're actually starting to see it as a threat. You're going to see in the next couple of years, and it's not going to really matter who gets elected at the national level. The bureaucracy is going to start attacking people. The first shot over the bow of patriots is 81,000 IRS agents. That's where they're going to start. You know, Lifetime Freeze, right? remove your production, and vote with your dollar.
Mm-hmm.
And then Mrs. Hack said, no one deserves. Well,
What'd she say?
no one deserves Biden. You know what? I'm not sure I agree with that. I listen to people complain at the pumps, and I see them with Biden Harris stickers on their things, and I'm like, you're getting exactly what you deserve.
Yeah, but we're getting punished.
You know,
so.
well, sometimes collective punishment is what it takes.
Yeah.
You know, because how many
some interesting things are going on with gas here. I'd be interested to see. I know that the East Coast is having some completely different issues with diesel and gas right now, especially with diesel. But for some reason, our diesel went down considerably. Well, it went up 5 cents today. But when did I see it that I filled up? I came home,
2 days ago.
got the Jeep real quick, and was like, I need to go fill up this too. It dropped, like it was at 5.18 and all of a sudden dropped down to 4.69 for diesel. And I was like, what in the world is going on?
Okay, that brings up a good topic that I wanted to talk to people tonight. You've seen in the news where they say, oh, we've only got 25 days of
We're at 21 as of today.
21
Well,
days
they
of
are.
diesel fuel left.
Mhm.
Okay. What that is we've got 21 days of diesel reserve. Normally we have 35 days. We're down to 21 days. And what that means is if production stops at 0 tomorrow, that we've got 21 days in the tank.
Mhm.
Diesel production is not stopping. It's going to continue to go. And the biggest reason why, well, one of the biggest reasons why the reserve is so low is because the government has been releasing it onto the open market. In fact, there was a point in time.
The way I understood it,
Okay.
and correct me if I'm wrong, the way I understood it, it's that particular pipeline on the East Coast because they're saying they have to stop production in order to fix the line. Like there's something wrong with the line and maintenance has to be done.
That may be part of the problem, but the 21 days, it's a reserve. It's not going to happen. And the reason why I'm bringing it up is because I was on Living Free with Tennessee. And she had John Willis and Jack Spirko on there, and the topic came up. And
you were watching, you weren't on there.
No, I was watching. I just happened to be able to get to my desk and while they were talking about it, and they made the point that there are brand new preppers out there. So if you know anybody that Nicole calls them woke preppers, and she doesn't mean that in a bad way. They're woke in the fact that they're just awakening to what's going on and to the need to prepare. And a lot of them are acting out of fear, and they see this. They see that there's 25 days left, 21 days, and they're like, "Oh my God, we're going to run out of fuel in 21 days." Please share the message, get the information to them, let them know that no, they are not going to run out of fuel in 21 days. That's how many days are left in the National Reserve. So.
Is it the National Reserve?
Yes, it's the National Reserve.
I got my information from Sean Hannity, so I wasn't sure. I would think he had a pretty darn good source to know that it's the East Coast and it's that.
I said that may be part of the reason why it's low.
Maybe I'm misunderstanding something. I don't know,
but so just
Nowhere Homestead. He also says that he thought it was nationally as well. So
yeah,
well that stinks.
What
if something did happen? 21 days to use your
tractor. If something happens and it shuts diesel production or fuel production down like that, that's going to be the least of our worries.
Oh, that's true.
Seriously,
that is absolutely true.
I mean, it's going to be the least of our worries.
Yeah.
So let not your heart be troubled.
My heart's not troubled.
Okay.
As far as I understand, we're good on diesel here in the Midwest. So.
Yes, Lifetime Free says everybody is at a different stage of their journey. Be supportive and build communities. That's the big thing. Be supportive and build communities. You know, and you know, we do a lot of talking on here, and I actually shot a video tonight.
Lauren says you've got it right. So
actually, I shot a video tonight, and I kind of talked about this.
Did you?
Is it going too fast?
Did you show it? No. What happened to it?
Where?
I liked it. I want it Randy's. Did it show you had to approve it, and for some reason it did not?
It went away.
It went away. Randy, retype that.
But anyway, you know, we couldn't have done what we did here without the support. But we talk a lot about homesteading and being on property, and all our friends are on property. Well, most of them are on property. Everything that we talk about can be done in an apartment. It can be done
in the city
on a suburban lot. We did it on a suburban lot. We raised a metric ton of rabbits in the time we were on a suburban lot, and we had I think it was a 900 square foot garden, maybe 1,200 square feet at the end. But you know, so you can do it. Any little bit that you do is one step away from dependency, and that's what it's about. Oh man, you guys are going way too fast.
Well, basically what Randy was saying there is hit show.
There we go. Yeah,
that was perfect.
Why would that be? Oh, somebody else saying a lot. Why would that be? Anyway, Randy says, God allowed Israel to suffer because they turned their back on him. Perhaps America should take note of that.
We've been talking about that for
years.
Yes,
we've been talking about that for years.
Yeah.
You know, and unfortunately, you know, I want to say we live in Babylon. I mean, seriously, you know.
Yeah, exactly, Tag. Don't compare your accomplishments with others. Race yourself. Compete with yourself.
Yep.
And so I think, especially as homesteaders and farming, very competitive people. Even though they're introverts, they're very competitive.
A lot of alpha personalities.
Yes, everybody comes by it very naturally. And so we have a tendency to go, well, look at what that person is doing. And how come we don't have that? And how come we need this? Everybody's at a different level. And that's why we try to say, you know, we can't, you know, for us, hiring a camera crew and hiring a bunch of people to come over and do something for us isn't going to work.
No.
And so for other people, you know, hiring one or two workers and then finding out those one or two workers aren't going to work out. And then all of a sudden by yourself, you know, yeah, you may have gotten ahead a little bit, but now you're on the same pace. One is working full time. Another person is working part time. Another person is, you know, everybody is at a different pace.
Well,
some people have health issues. Other people don't have health issues. And weather is hot here and it's not hot somewhere else. You can't. And that's one of the things that frustrates me so much about some of the other homestead channels, because they're not genuine. And they're not being honest about their situation. And this has got to stop, because there are so many people reaching out and going, I don't know how you did all of that in 1 year. Dude, we busted our butts and we did it when we could. And we feel like sometimes we should have gotten a lot more finished.
Well, you know, and one thing you got to remember whenever you're looking at this, you're battling two basic human frailties. Number one, no matter how hard you try, you look at somebody else and you look at what they've accomplished, and you can't help but compare yourself to them. It's something that we just do. It's just human nature. And number two, we set unrealistic expectations for ourselves.
We do. We need to get better about that.
Even when we set proper goals, we don't always reach them because we get lazy sometimes, or we get forgetful, or
life changes
things. But so just remember that you know you're fighting human nature in that, and as long as you understand that that's what you're competing against, you can tackle it, no problem whatsoever. Okay, so we got let's see here. Tiger says she lives in the city and raise chickens and raise a killer garden. I think we need to reach out to her, let her tell her story.
Yeah.
Tiger, would you consider that maybe someday? I'm not going to say it's going to happen, but think about it.
Come move out here.
Nowhere homesteading. Focus should be to be better tomorrow than they are today. We try to just be honest and not compare ourselves to anyone else. Right. Absolutely. RN says, my grandpa lived to be 100, and he grew enough on his small 500 square foot plot to feed his family. Wow. I have plenty to give away. He spent every day in the garden, canning and etc. with no special equipment.
Exactly.
You know what? I posted a meme over on Spags' freesteading page. Grandpa survived the Great Depression because he knew how to do stuff, and he did it.
Nowhere homesteading. I don't know. I know you're just joking around, but just for everybody else that's in the feed, you need to know We have watched tag bus tail day and night.
Dude,
And
him and B
that
are
has not
machines.
been an overnight accomplishment. He's been working on that for years.
Yep.
And so, just constantly new construction. So I don't want you to give a false impression there on where they're at, because they're plugging along just like everybody else.
Well, and tag's a prime example of something that we say a lot. Tag's able to do what he does because he spent a lot of time. He spent
in construction.
Well, no, he spent 20 years preparing for the moment he started his homestead.
Yeah.
It wasn't like he woke up one day and him and B said, "Oh, we're gonna move and build our own house." Right. No, he spent at least 20 years prepping the battleground, prepping the field for what he was going to do.
Right.
And when the time came, he was able to make decisions and had a whole bunch of different options open to do it the best way possible for him. And I think,
and for him, it's going to be different for everybody else.
And I can say this about Angela and I, is we waited way too long. Mm-hmm. We waited way too long, and we were forced to make a decision, and we still got far enough ahead of the game that we had some good viable options, and if you find yourself forced into a position where you're making a decision that you do not want to make, but it's the only option you have, don't kill yourself over it. Right. People, seriously, do not kill yourself.
Right.
Understand that okay, it happened. Now you start prepping for the next decision.
Right.
Okay. So he's a prime example, and Darren and Patty at Hats for the Homesteader are another prime example.
Right.
They live a more free life than anybody that I know.
Yeah.
Personally
yeah.
know.
A lot of people call them the richest people in the world.
That's right.
And so, or the poorest rich people in the world. And
richest poor people,
something like that. But yeah, no, they're another prime example.
They are living. They're living a life that we only wish we could live right now.
Yeah.
But so don't knock yourselves about if you get in a situation like that. Just dust your hands off and go for the next one. Mm-hmm. You know what? Tech says we climb mountains. You know what? Everybody's climbing a mountain.
Yeah.
And the only reason we were able to climb that mountain
is because of our community.
And the support we got. Jasper's mom showed up. She's late.
That's all right.
Don't feel like she's stalking me now.
Right. Mrs. Ghetto, Nowhere Homestead is also a YouTube channel. Don't know if you know that or not.
Yep.
He's in our community. Having no job is kind of nice, I will admit. Yeah, I don't know that that's true though.
You've got a job.
I think you're working.
That's just it. You work harder now than you did when you had a job, man.
Oh my goodness. All right, we've been building our off-grid property for a couple of years now. Slow and steady wins the race.
Absolutely.
Yes. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. Starla has a question. I'm completely disabled and live in town, but I manage to grow food and do projects. But I see many people who are able-bodied and want everything handed to them. It's aggravating. Yeah. I guess the question is, how do we deal with that? We don't worry about other people. You just gotta
plug along. You gotta do you. And so that's what I say. We do a lot for ours and mine, mm-hmm. our family, our community, and our community being our circle. We're not running out throwing money at problems and doing, somebody says, oh, in fact, finally the sheriff, there was another person out on the corner of Walmart today, mm-hmm. when I went to go get my prescription. And there was finally the sheriff pulled her over, some woman begging for money, needing help and begging for money. They had her on the side of the road. She was standing there in the parking lot, mm-hmm. and he was questioning her. I don't know how the turnout was, but so yeah, when I see that, I don't give money, nor do I give food. And I used to. There was only one time it worked out well for us, we think, and that was, we would make sacks, and then the girls put scripture on them, and then we put like canned weenie dogs and that kind of stuff in there. And then Garen would hand those out. There was a guy
Well-
that was on the side of the road for 2 weeks straight.
Well, even then, they were appreciative, but they still took advantage of it.
Right.
I saw that. These guys would say, "Oh, I've got this going on," and then
I got a job.
a week
and I
later,
gotta be
a week
working.
later, they're out there.
Right back out there.
They're out there panhandling again. They didn't do anything.
Yeah, so we just don't do that. We worry about ours. And so if we are giving to our community where we're cutting wood, we're helping build a kitchen, we're helping, doing whatever, a sheep shed or, whatever, that's how we take care of ours here. So,
Okay, Starlin, now I have a question for you. You said I have people who ask for free produce and I tell them they can pull weeds and pick some veggies.
Mhm.
Do they take you up on it?
Right.
That's my question.
I had people, we had eggs coming out of our ears, and I had people, we were short on egg cartons. And so we put out there and said, okay, you get a free egg for every egg carton that you bring us. And so I had one person take me up on that once, and that was it. And after that, it was just nobody, it just didn't matter. But all I was asking for was a trade. And so they didn't even want to do that.
They don't want to trade.
They'd rather pay $6 for a carton of eggs. I don't
RN
understand.
says if you use plastic 5-gallon buckets, you may want to consider 5-gallon stainless steel buckets. They don't deteriorate in the sun
For what?
for gardening.
Oh, yeah.
For gardening.
Mhm.
Starla says people don't take her up on it. See, and I
Yeah.
don't understand that.
I don't either.
I don't understand that. Of course, you know what?
Because they don't want to work for it. They just want the
It's
handout.
a
This is what they've been programmed to do. And I'd be interested to know the ages of those people, because I've seen, especially even with people our age and below, we got into that fast food system, and now, there's so many people, they know they can go line up and the government will take care of them.
Oh, I missed it. Third grandbaby today.
Yay.
I wonder why Mrs. Ghetto was congratulating you. Things to do. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Like spoil that baby boy.
Yeah. Was it a boy?
Little boy.
Boys are fun. Girls are fun too.
Girls are fun too.
Mm-hmm.
Tiger, you have to take care of your own house before you can even think about helping others.
Absolutely.
It's that whole putting the oxygen mask on first.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's exciting about the baby.
Yeah.
People are. Ms. Ghetto says people are expecting handouts. Got to give.
Accepting handouts.
No, they're expecting. You need better glasses too.
I do. EXC.
Expecting. I think. Either she spelt it wrong or she used the wrong word.
Oh my goodness! All right.
In the context, I think would be
Maybe expected. People are expected. I don't know. Anyway. But
autocorrect.
what happened? Oh! Last time autocorrect got into something.
Yeah, at least it wasn't. Who was it?
Was it? I don't even remember who it was, but it was.
I think it was
so
Cindy
funny.
that said that.
It was so funny. We laughed for weeks about that. I still get giggle sometimes.
Teapot says we have farms of food they pick once. We can't figure out why they don't let people go in for pennies on the pound to clean fields. Yeah, I remember as a kid they used to do that.
I know in the cornfields they're taking a lot of the leftovers, and those are going to hog feed. So, but I'm not sure about anything else.
Nora Homestead says I'd argue there's more entitled beggars who aren't homeless than those that are truly down and out.
Right.
I'd say that's correct.
Yeah,
Personal
in San
experience.
Diego, that was exactly those homeless people that were getting the handouts. There was always a big joke that they would take Visa cards, except Visa and American Express, because they were richer than anybody else. They had millions of dollars.
Starla says she's one of 2 people here in our county that does preparing, and we are working together. We live 2 blocks apart. Well, that's beneficial.
Yeah. Nice.
Jasper's mom, my aunt, many years ago tried to give a bag of beans to a homeless guy begging on the street. He tossed them back and asked what the hell he was supposed to do with them. Most people just want cash. Yeah, so they can go get alcohol and drugs. Right. Age group is 20s and 30s.
Yeah, it doesn't surprise me. Yeah, that's that entitlement.
Yeah, but there's people of all ages.
Right.
Yaya says you can make a good living being homeless. Yeah, if you do it right.
Yeah.
If you do it right, go up a better tax bracket than we're in right now.
Yeah, we'll see what the economy does to him though in the next year or two. So
Yeah.
see what happens.
Jonathan says he's ashamed of his age bracket. You know what, Jonathan?
Don't be.
There's
Exceptions to every rule.
There are exceptional people in your age bracket. There's good and bad across the board. You know, you got to figure the war on terror has been fought by your generation, and there's a lot of brave men that did very, very heroic and great things. You know, so don't be ashamed of it. It's just part of the culture. There's a bunch of people that are Gen Xers that I hate to admit that I'm a Gen Xer sometimes. At least I'm not a boomer.
That's not nice. Not on here. So, you're kind of right in the middle there. You know that, right?
I am 2 years. I am 2 years younger than the oldest, the youngest boomer.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So yeah, for sure, Jonathan. Don't be ashamed, and just the fact that you're on here speaks volumes. So, right? So
you know what? And be a that's a boomer. Okay, boomer.
Oh my gosh.
Just be an example to those around you. That's what any of us should do. We don't always get. She's offended. I'll make it up to you, Pat. I promise.
Yeah, no, Starla, I wasn't in the service. Karen was in the service, and my dad was in the service. I just grew up the military brat and became the military wife, and so due to that was my suffering was base housing.
Jonathan says might be in the neck of the woods the week of the 21st.
Oh, nice.
Might be here. I might be out of town that weekend.
On the
week of the 21st, right before Thanksgiving.
That's right. Well, we're only going to go for the day, though, right?
Yeah, we can only go for the day.
Right. So we could get together Friday or Saturday.
Maybe.
Yeah. So let us know. And then, let's see. There's a lot of good people in their 20s and 30s too.
Starla, you're a Gen
Xer.
Xer.
In their 30s and are hardworking, self-reliant people. Yeah, there's exceptions to every rule. It's unfortunately the sore thumbs, bad apples. Those are the ones that stick out the most.
She was a Marine wife, not a Marine's wife.
Right,
a Marine wife.
There's a difference, a huge difference. So a Marine's wife would be offensive to me. So
yes.
A Marine wife is what I am.
Yep. Gizmo.
So
there's nothing wrong with you.
And if you don't know, and Starla, you ask your husband, ask your son. There is a huge difference. And so a Marine's wife is the one sitting in a bar.
They're dependopotamuses.
Right. And so a Marine wife stands by her man and supports him and keeps the candle lit in the window.
Yep.
So, but yeah. I don't know. We're coming up over an hour.
Unless you guys want to keep going. If you guys got anything you want to talk about,
if you have any questions,
feel free. We'll take the conversation as long as you guys want. We try to keep it a little shorter so that we're not boring you guys.
T+ says they're both older than Danny. They're old farts. Oh my gosh. Never heard that distinction.
Well, it is. It's true.
Yeah, it is.
It's true. And she did. She played. So when we got stationed in Washington, D.C., she played mom. She was 20, 21. You turned 21.
I turned 21 in D.C.
Turned 21 when we were in D.C. And she played mom to guys that were 2 or 3 years older than she was, and had been around the world and been in the Gulf War. But she was their mom, and she took care of them.
I fed them, and I
babied them when they needed. Fixed their boo boos.
And if they got drunk, my floor was always there for them.
I remember you going and picking a couple of them up.
To go pick some up and
took them home.
Yeah. So yeah, there's a lot that I did, and had wives showing up on my doorstep that needed things and needed help, and so that's what we do. So and then take care of the others. But yeah, so
Where is
there
she?
was a whole book that was given to me when we got engaged, and that taught you how to be a Marine wife. I don't know if they have that anymore, but that was given to me, and I followed it.
So Ryan makes a point. When you buy equipment, you have to factor in fuel, maintenance, storage, and the need for that equipment and cost.
Yes.
That's absolutely true. You need those are called soft costs, and those are ones that you have to take into consideration. I think a lot.
Jasper mom? Why are they hiding all this stuff? Jasper's mom is totally not offensive. Oh shoot!
All she did was smile.
It makes no sense. Does it have the mask on it?
I don't know.
Who knows? That's
what is that
weird.
emoji?
I don't know.
She just got a hand covering the mouth.
It's crazy.
I don't understand YouTube.
I don't know. We think they're throttling.
Tag wants to know what the difference between thick and chunky is.
Tag, I'm not having this conversation with you anymore. I am so done with that. This is not happening. Oh my goodness.
Pat says she's both.
That's not even where that is about. It's about stupid salsa. Oh my gosh. Oh yeah.
Okay, Starla. What happened was B and Tag had an overabundance of veggies, and so they wanted Yoda to make salsa. And the only thing was
there wasn't only one thing. There were several things. So I had to get directions on how to chop it, but I didn't get clear directions. I didn't know that every chunk needed to be 1 inch thick or 1 inch long or whatever. It needed to be able to be identified in the jar is what I was told. I can identify my salsa, especially when I know what the ingredients are in there. And so then that whole salsa thing, I was like, well, can I roast the peppers? Can I, well, let me do this. No, this is how it has to be done. This is the way I want it. So I was like, fine. So I come home, I do the boring salsa, and
you made it thick and chunky by our standards,
right? And so I did it Baja style. Somebody doesn't appreciate Baja, and they wanted everything to be big. And so apparently my salsa was thick; it just wasn't chunky. And I said, "But you said you wanted it thick," and he said, "Not runny." And so I had it thick, but apparently I completely missed on the chunky.
Oh, and it tastes so good.
It's delicious.
I so miss it.
Why do you miss it? There's jars of it.
Because it's not carnival. If you could make a carnivore salsa, I'd be all over it.
There is no carnival salsa. Carnivore salsa. So, but yes, that is the story between thick and chunky. Thanks, Tag. And so anyway.
Nowhere Homestead says he's so fluffy, he's pulling goose down out of his throat.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Sounds amazing. Love the chunky stuff. Well, you probably had it if you had the Mexican pizza at Tags on workday, because it was Yoda salsa that was, so it's marked Yoda salsa on all of B's stuff so that they know that it's not chunky. So yeah, apparently if there's a preference, they want the other. So anyway, but yeah. Oh, so you did have it. Yeah. You said, yeah, that was good. Yeah. It was the salsa that they had out to put on that pizza. So, yeah, Christy asked me for the recipe, and I started laughing because I don't have a recipe for that. She's going to come and help me. So next time the garden's in, I'm going to walk her through it, and then we're going to break everything down and write it down. But
Starla asked if I can give in-town homestead security ideas. Starla, Yoda told me about the question. I want to talk with some people before I make a video on that, and get some input from some other people, because my ideas are sound, but I want to get a little bit, a couple of different views on it, so that I can give a good, well-rounded response to that. Because as far as the OPSEC portion of it goes, it's the same no matter where you are. And it's when you start getting into all the other, you start combining the OPSEC with all the physical aspects of security, that it changes from in town and rural. You've got a whole separate slew of problems that you got to deal with when you're in a town or a city, than in the suburbs or the the rural area.
So basically, they're trying to figure out a property that maybe you guys can walk through some stuff, and then maybe do a collaborative like what.
Well, I'm not that far. I just want to hear what some other people say, because I know that Spags has some really good stuff on it. He gave a class on it.
Right.
At camp.
Less room for tripwires and landmines in the city.
Who said that?
Jonathan. He's starting to scare me now.
Well, you know what? If they get past the barbed wire and the dog, then the trip mines and landmines are okay, or the tripwires and landmines are okay.
Right. Do you have a recipe for green chili soup? Yes, actually, I do.
Okay, Hack says that he's in. If I can find somebody.
I think Spags would be a good one.
He lives on 2 or 3 acres. He's on a semi-rural property.
But okay,
at least that's what I got. That's what I understand.
He's got to know somebody that's living in town.
And I probably shouldn't have said that, but no, he shows his videos. So I didn't say anything wrong.
He's got to know somebody that lives in town. So
yeah, threat analysis is what I'm talking about. I haven't done an urban threat analysis since 2003.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Even when we lived in the suburbs, our backyard was up against 300 acres worth of fields and woods.
Yeah. But Hacks, it's not going to be a security consult. So
no, he's talking like what we did
on the video. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
I just
So
want
if we
to make
can
sure
find
he
somebody.
knows that.
Let's see here.
Spags
knows everybody, so I'm sure he does.
And so it's just a matter of, so we don't have to just show up in the middle of the city and go, hey, we'd like to shoot a video. Can we use your property?
Yeah.
So, don't want to do that. But
yeah. That actually sounds, I wasn't planning on doing something like what we did in Tennessee, but that actually sounds kind of fun.
I think it would help a lot of people walk through some stuff and, just kind of visualize it. A lot of people are visual people.
Right.
And so, which I totally get. I'm a visual person.
Right. And I'm going to talk to him tomorrow night. So I'll ask him tomorrow night if he knows somebody that
Tex said he definitely does. So Billy's a good one for the threat analysis too, except Jasper's mom, we are not close to him. So not that a conversation can't be had with him. Garen and Hacks have actually done one with him already. So, and we've talked about different ways to go through that.
Right.
But if we want a visual on it, maybe we do the video and then you 3 could sit down, or 4, whatever you decide, and do a panel on that and do it both ways. I don't think
Nowhere Homestead says doesn't have to be ex-military perspective. Yaya and I are very concerned about that from the civilian lens. Oh, absolutely. The only the thing you run with your strengthnesses, and the Billy Hacks and I all ex-military and all dealt with it, so we
that's how they've been doing it.
That's where we went from.
And then the majority that are ex-military, they do a lot of practicing on clearing and sweeping houses, and so they it's different than a civilian perspective.
And you mentioned it. I am talking with somebody right now. He kind of wants a permaculture design visit, and I'm going to let him have one gratis. There's something else involved there that I don't want to talk about, but he's military. So I told him, I said, here's what we'll do. You lay your defensive plan from a strictly military standpoint on your property. And then I will come in on top of your military plan, and I will do a permaculture design on top of your plan and show you how to integrate the permaculture, the civilian aspect of it, in with the defensive military mindset. So that might be something too. I still gotta talk to him.
Well, nowhere homesteading. So I guess I didn't realize that you were never in the military. And so if you want to do, maybe you and G and Hacks, maybe you guys get together and do a video. You show what you would do from a civilian perspective, and then they'll show what they do from a military perspective. And then you can each see where weaknesses or strengths might be. Maybe that's a good idea too.
Well, a security plan is going to be a security plan, no matter if you're military or civilian. At the end of the day, the thing is, more eyes and more experience when you're looking at it
is better.
Okay. Let's see here. Jasper's mom, Starla. I might have an idea for heating water. I've been looking into wood stoves and found water tanks that fit on them. Oh, absolutely. Yes. In fact, most of the high end tanks have them, and you can hang tanks off the side of them, no problem.
I know, but Teapot, he would thrive here. So he's not in the city. Teapot
No,
said,
he's not.
put them in the country for one night. They will hear every sound. They will come up with so much to do. Yeah, that's no joke. Let's see.
Okay. I'm going to tell a sea story. This is you. Teapot just reminded me of something. I had a friend. I was in ROTC before I joined the Marine Corps. I was in the early commissioning program. Then I figured out that I enjoyed smoking marijuana more than I wanted to be an Army officer. But anyway, so we're on a field exercise one night, and we're in a ranger circle, which is where everybody lays with their feet sticking in towards the middle. So you've got 360-degree security at night. And the OPFOR was on the other end of the training area. And so they have what's called fire watch. And the fire watch's job when you're in the barracks is to watch for fires, basically. But when you're out in the field, fire watch is to look for people coming into your position and everything. Well, I had just turned over my fire watch to the guy laying next to me. His name was Greg. He grew up in Omaha, about as city as city can get. Seriously, he was not a country boy. And so we're laying there, and I was half asleep, and I hear these leaves crunch, 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 and they came from our backside, and they walked around our circle, and then took off straight away from us. And then I could tell Greg was a little upset because he started getting fidgety, and he's like, "Did you hear that?" And I was like, "Yeah, I heard it. It's not here, so don't worry about it." So we're laying there, and about 5 minutes later, we hear these leaves crunching, coming straight at us. Crunch, 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 and they got real close, and you couldn't see anything. And Greg goes, "What did he say?" He said, "Halt! Who goes there?" And then he said the password, and all you could hear coming from the darkness was. Greg had an M60 with a full belt of ammo in front of him, and it was locked and loaded. And he screamed in terror and pulled the trigger. So in the middle of the night, everybody was woken up by an M60, just cyclic. Just he held the trigger down, just boom, 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 boom. It was a possum. A possum had walked up within about 3 feet of him. Now, Greg was terrified. He did not sleep the rest of the night.
You know, he may watch this video later.
But I cannot imagine how terrified that poor possum was. So there's my city boy in the woods story.
Oh man.
Oh, I'm sorry. I had to share that. That was. And I think, you know what I'm going to do on the Marine Corps birthday? I may do a live stream and just tell sea stories.
Oh no.
Just talk
Why
about.
don't you save that for November 10th?
That's what I said on Marine Corps birthday. I may do a sea story. You know?
Jasper's mom, man, I hate those attack possums.
Yeah, and you know what's really funny about that story is it's one of the few that I have that doesn't start or end with. And we were drinking.
Kangaroo stories.
There wasn't any alcohol involved, but I heard the kangaroo story secondhand.
I heard it firsthand.
Yeah.
Retarded. Sorry, I shouldn't have said that. It was a mess.
Yeah, I'll tell that story. Yeah, that's something. That'll be a fun night.
Oh.
So I don't know. I may just do it impromptu. I don't know. We'll find out.
You do you. That's your day, so you do you. But all right, well, we're at a minute 19. So does anybody have anything else?
A minute 19. We're at an hour.
An hour and 19.
Yeah, we got some stuff we need to do before we go to bed.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get this one to start going to bed at reasonable hours.
You know how long I slept last night? I went to bed at 10:30. I told you what time I got up.
I know.
It doesn't matter. No matter what. That is the hour that I wake up. There's just something about that hour. I don't know what it is.
Get up when the alarm goes off.
No, that was ridiculous. And maybe it's because I'm up and down because I go to bed too early.
Jasper's mom wants to know if you checked freestanding.
I have not. I will get on that. I have been shipping out, making sure to stay on emails on the other one, and freesteading has been set aside. So, are you talking my personal page?
Yeah, your personal.
Okay, yeah, I'll get on there and I will check that. It's right on my phone, so it'll be easy.
Randy, that you're absolutely right, man. It's about community.
Yeah.
It's 100% about community. I would say. I would say behind your own personal cognitive, mental, and spiritual preparedness, community is what's going to help you survive beyond the basics of water, shelter, and food. The community will do that. So and you'll hear
Yaya's usually up between 1 or 2 a.m.
You'll hear Tag talk about it constantly. You'll hear Hacks talk about it constantly. Everybody in our circle will promote building community to the point to where it probably gets tiresome to some people. But
it's so important to repeat. It takes to hear something 21 times before it becomes repetitive.
Right.
Do something 21 times before it becomes repetitive.
And unfortunately, as a culture, we've lost the idea of community. I'm not really quite sure where it happened. Because it was don't say it's because of the digital age, because it was on its way out before that. The latchkey kids.
But I always kind of sort of had that, even though I was a latchkey kid. But we lived on base too.
Military bases are way different.
Yeah, so I guess I've never really not known that. But yeah, you guys have a wonderful night. Starla, I still working on the camouflage. I even went everywhere, and I'm having a hard time finding the ivermectin. I couldn't believe it. So, but I'm still looking. And so I was going to say something else. When you go to freesteading, if you go in and email admin, is it email admin or message admin? Message admin. She's having a hard time with the freesteading. She said it's not working with her. It's not working for her. So message your admin, and the admin will walk you through what you need to do.
Rescue, thanks for stopping by, man. I enjoy your lives too. Yeah. I'm glad you like ours.
Thanks, Rescue, for showing up.
Yeah. Well, like she said, we're at a minute and 21 seconds. She said 22 seconds.
I started an antibiotic today too, so it's kind of foggy brain.
No, it's not. Just a ditz.
Whatever.
That's why I love you.
All right. Yeah, message admin.
Okay, you got any final words to say?
Well, guys, I think until next time, go live a life done free.
Go live a life done free, guys. Thanks for showing up. Be sure to support each other.
Yeah.
All right. Take care. We are out of here.